Hello, this is Granison Shines, Chief Marketing Officer here at Direct Business Marketing, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about our real estate marketing system. We institute the methodology of generate, capture, store, and nurture. Now we use that also for non-real estate businesses. But as you see in the caption at the bottom, generate, capture, store, and nurture. This is our proven marketing campaign development process. Using this process, we've outlined almost every type of marketing that a real estate agent can do to generate visitors, capture leads, store prospects, and nurture to the sale, because that's what it's all about when you're marketing for buyers and sellers with your real estate business. Now, the chart that you see here is the campaign. The base system comes with the system, the components that you see circled in yellow. So as you see, we institute a pay-per-click campaign for the generate items, and we also have the content IDX. I'll explain all this in a moment. We have the home profit calculator, which is the website section, plus the home search. And again, I will show you a live working example of this. The seller list, the buyer list built into our CRM, and then the nurture campaign, the new lead nurture campaign, which then turns to an existing lead campaign. And then from there, also the new buyer lead campaign, which also turns into the existing buyer lead nurture campaign later on. And then we have the annual nurture process. The other campaigns here, the renter to buyer campaign, the client appreciation event campaign, and the social media campaign are all add-ons to the system, which you can add on at any time during the campaign. Now again, just to re-emphasize this proven marketing system here, generate, capture, store, nurture. This video is going to really focus on the marketing automation, or the CRM portion that you see here in red. And once you have this instituted, this is the marketing technology foundation, the backbone of your marketing system. Once the green has done its job in getting the eyeballs, getting the prospects to your website, everything else from there is done automatically. We make sure that we use direct response marketing techniques on the website, which allows the user or the prospect to look at the information that's offered to them, make the determination whether or not they want to opt in for free, and then everything else, once they're in the red section, in the store section, everything else is done automatically. And again, this is exactly how you want to portray your marketing campaign. So even if you don't go with us here at DBM, take this screenshot here and think about it from a generate, capture, store, nurture standpoint, and you will do good in your marketing. So now let's see a live example of the generate, capture, store, nurture system. And again, the main components that we're going to talk about are the PPC, the content IDX. I'll show you how that works, the home search, home profit calculator, seller list, buyer list, and then the nurture campaigns. And again, we're going to really focus and drill in on the workings, the in and outs of the CRM, or the marketing automation tool. So let's see that live example. So here we have a live working example that's actively being marketed right now. And as you see, you have the home search. So you can find your home. This is the content IDX, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by content IDX, and I'll show you how you know whether or not you have the right IDX system. Here we have the home profit calculator. What is your home worth? And I'll show you how we institute that. And here you see you can search by city. There's also the number at the top. So by the way, I want to mention that this whole entire campaign is also optimized for mobile devices, so you can look at it on your tablet and or your mobile phone and still see everything as you see it here. In fact, it's all responsive, which now you don't have to have a desktop site and a separate mobile app and or a separate website that is for a mobile version. Now we build one, and it automatically adjusts to the screen size on the device in which you're looking at the information. Again, that key word here is responsive. So you can see that we broke out the search by cities here in Arizona. And if we scroll down, we see that this is a live working website where latest news, and it has the blog portion of it also, so the client can continue to be engaged by the real estate agent like yourself. So when we go to the seller section, we see that we have all kinds of information for a seller, buyer information here, and then of course the about us, the story. You can have your team and everyone else here, and then of course the contact us, which are some of the basic pages, static pages of your website. The dynamic pages are the blog portion of your site. So if we click on the advanced search, we'll see that it goes to a search where you have your IDX. Now I mentioned we say content IDX because Your IDX system is highly important. Now here's how you can determine whether or not you have the right IDX. And I'm going to show you right here. So I'm going to take the domain here, the URL, and I'm going to type site, S-I-T-E, right in front of it. S-I-T-E and colon, and go to the .com and take everything off of the .com at the back end. Now, when I hit enter, look at how many pages are on her domain. I did this last week and it was at 11,000. It's going to continue to go up until every home on the MLS is on her domain. So you can see, even if I scroll down and I go to page, let's say I go to page 10, you can see that still we have the real estate agent URL right here, the top level domain, TLD, or we call the root domain. And what the system does is it creates one page for every home that's on the MLS. And now your site to the search engines looks like it's very huge. She has over 15,000 pages, as we saw, over 15,000 pages indexed with Google, and that's exactly what you want. With Google, with Bing, with Yahoo, it's a ton of pages. So we're on page 10 and we still see that there's 15,700 results. Again, that means all those pages are on her website. So if we click on any one of the pages here, and we'll click on this one, system's going a little slow, but that's okay. You can see here, again, here is the page that we clicked on, and we can see that this one page, this one home here has its own page with the property description and all the relevant information, including photos for that particular site. So that's how you're going to know whether you have the right IDX, and that's why we call it content IDX, because it's going to create a lot of content for your site on the buyer side. So when a buyer goes to the search engines and they type in 3-bedroom home in Gilbert, your site has an opportunity to come up because you have so much content on your site. So that's what we mean by content IDX, and that's going to be very, very important for this portion of the system. So if you are going after buyers, make sure you have the right IDX. Our system again comes with that standard as part of the marketing campaign. Okay, so you saw the home search. Now, once they create a profile, they can save their homes on each profile, and you will actually be able to find out which homes they're looking at. So whatever home they save, because they have looked at this particular home in Gilbert or in Ahwatukee or in Anthem, when they click save home, it actually saves it to their account, and you'll be able to look at all that information in the back end and provide them more information if you desire. Let's go to the next section of this system. We talk about the home profit calculator. Now this product here, it's also a standalone product, but we sell this particular product all over the United States with several real estate agents. And so what we have done here is created a product that basically says, okay, Mr. Home Seller, if you want to sell your home, put in your information. One, we'll go out and make sure that we find out how much your home is worth, put in some basic mortgage information, and we will calculate based on those two metrics. We would calculate how much your home's worth and how much, if you, the real estate agent, sold their home, how much they would walk away with in their pocket. So when they put in their information, they're going to get a report, a free report, and you're going to get the exact same report that says, hey, you know what, if you listed and sold your home with us, here's how much it's worth based on what you told us regarding the value of your home, or actually pulls the value from Zillow. Here's how much you said you pay in your mortgage and the percent, and here's how much it would cost you if I sold your home, and here's how much you walk away with. And all those numbers, including the adjusted numbers for Zillow, are all adjustable in the back. So meaning that you can, it's not that it's hard coded, you can actually set the parameters and adjust in the back. That's another video for another time. In this video we're going to talk about, again, we really want to focus on the CRM. So if we look at our chart again, therefore I've shown you the home profit calculator, the home search, the content IDX. The PPC campaign is exactly what it is, the pay-per-click campaign. That's something that we manage. We say at least a $500 PPC campaign. From there, we can make sure that the right homeowners who are looking for real estate agents go to your home, to go to your home profit calculator, get their free report, and then again they go into the CRM, which is the seller list. Okay, now we're going to focus on this portion here along with the nurture campaign. So This particular website, once you, and I'll show you, you have a single sign-on. So if you type in login at the back end, you'll be able to make sure that you log in and find out where all your content, all your leads are being stored. And so you just simply log in, and I already have this page open right here, and then you come to the back end of the site, and in the back end of the site is where you're going to see all the leads that you have. You'll be able to store information about each opportunity if you so desire. And then this is just an example site, but I'm going to show you information that's relevant to our entire system. So let's start here at the top. I'm going to go to the right, and then we're going to talk about each of the pages that you see here. So this is the dashboard where you see all the analytics. Initially you see the campaign insights, and when we talk about a campaign, each campaign is tied to a website, and or it can be tied to a particular web, actually several websites. So you can see the unique leads here. You can see if we want to find out which ones are tied to promotions, which ones are tied to the website PPC, we can see those, which ones are tied to webinars, nurture emails, and so forth. We can see the campaign breakdown here via a pie chart. Here's another graph here. And then we can see which campaigns, how many leads are in those campaigns, and what it's worth if we were tracking that information. I'll show you how you can track that. And you'll be able to track that per opportunity if you want to, and that way you can manage your team opportunities if you have a team. So as we see here, again, here are the campaign information. And if we scroll down to sites, we can see the sites, all the analytics for the sites that we are managing. So in this particular demo system, we have the direct business marketing site and HPC site. And depending on which one you're looking at, if you click on one, it will actually change to the other website and with different metrics. Okay, so let's go back to the direct business marketing one for purposes of this demo. You can see there's an 83% bounce rate, meaning that you're always going to have this bounce rate because people always go to the site and never stay there. They're going to leave at some point, right? So you can see that most people have, of course, left the site, and this number is going to be always pretty high. See direct traffic, total visitors, page visitors, average page per view, average views per page. And then how long they stayed on the site. So if I scroll down, I can see information on this particular web visits, and I can check on any one of these other links here, click on any one of these other links, and I'll see the bounce rates, and it will track that information also. You can see that there's more information, the content that comes onto this particular graph as I click. So I have the visitors, unique visitors, and search traffic. Now, this is one of the issues, or one of the parts that I like. One, we have the top searches, and you can view all. You have the top refers, which are usually websites, and then you have the top landing pages in which people come. And if I click on this, you see the top 5. I click on view all, it's going to drill down into each one of these specifically for the keywords. You can also get it to it from these tabs here. So keywords, this is a very good way to look at how people are finding your site. This is a very good way to find out what keywords they're typing into which search engines, so you can even manage your pay-per-click campaign that much more closer. So you can see that icon marketing, most people come in from some other search, your world views. I mean, there's a lot of information here that we can utilize, and this changes daily. Okay, now for the top refers, if you want to look at the top refers, again, these are going to be websites. You can see that Google, 80% of the market, right? Then these numbers pretty much represent that. Here you have Google, you have this one here, whatever that is, some direct traffic, Google here in India, Bing, Google in the UK, France, and so forth and so forth. So you can see that there's traffic coming from all over, traffic from Short Sale Superstars, Home Profit Calculator. So these are all refers of how they got to the direct business marketing site. And then from there, top landing pages. Your home page is most likely going to be your top landing page, depending on how you're doing your marketing. That's just one of those things that transpires from most businesses anyway. So you can see the numbers are drastically much more clicks and click-throughs for the homepage. And then we just launched a campaign about how I should grow my hair, so you can see that there's a number of people that come directly from that link. And I'll talk about these links individually because we use these links to track people, and that's one of the opportunities that you'll leverage through the system. The best way to use the system, or if you had to ask yourself a question of who you are calling or who you should be calling each and every day, this is the system that will give you that answer. And I'll show you why in a second. I'm really excited about showing you that piece. We'll get to that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So workflows and email reports, even each time you launch an email, it creates a report, and you can understand, you can drill down and understand who clicked on what, how many you sent, here's the email job, how many you sent, how many recipients, how long ago you sent it, then the email report. So if I click on this one here, it'll drill down into the report, and then it'll start giving me information. So here's the email that I sent, and I can filter through information by certain criteria, whichever search I want to here, by the email tag or by workflows if we have different workflows in there, and by different lists. If I want to submit it by list, I can really drill down and filter information. So you can see here this campaign had 474 opens, 81 click-throughs, 120 bounces, 1200 unopens, and so forth, right? So from there we can look at how many, here's a recent email jobs, and we can take a look at those also and get more information. So we can see who are the top clicks, and as you see here, we always make sure that we click internally within our campaigns and then go from there. And top opens, same thing. Okay, so if we're looking at analytics, this has a lot of information to give you reports on emails and the website content alone. Now, the forms portion of this, the good thing about this system is that it integrates via API with any system that's out there. Of course, it integrates with our systems, but also creates forms. So if you have another website that's not on our platform, you can create forms within this particular system and input the form onto your campaign, onto your website, and everything from that particular form will come automatically in here, and then we'll go through the whole entire process automatically. Of course, you can manage emails. So if you have Top Producer or Infusionsoft or Mailchimp, there you go, Mailchimp. If you have Wise Agent, any one of those, they all send emails, right? Well, our system does the same thing. You can actually create emails. You can see which emails are tied to which campaigns. You can see that there's 4 emails in this nurture campaign. You can see there's 8 emails in this promotion here. We see some test emails and test templates and whatnot. Speaking of templates, you can also create custom email templates. So if you add other templates, there are some that are stored in there when you get the system, but you can also create other templates. Like we created this Outlook template here, has no graphics, no anything around it. So if you clicked an open, we made it so that if you click send or a new email in Outlook, it just creates this one email that looks like a text email, but we actually can use that as tracking. So, and we found that when you do that, a lot of the click-throughs for the campaigns are a lot higher because when they see images and everything else, they know it's kind of a newsletter. So there's a whole marketing psychology behind that. You can see which emails are scheduled to go out. So if you have a number of campaigns, we don't have any that are going out right now, you can see that it would be queued here. And then last but not least, you test emails. You can do A/B split tests. So you can send one email to 2 different lists. You can send 2 different lists, 2 different emails, and make sure you track the results from that. So that's very, very key. I like the automation portion of this. So when we talk about automation, so tasks within the system can be created via the workflows. And when you add a task, what happens, we add a task to a workflow. When you when someone comes in based on a campaign, they fill out a form and they come into your database here that we're seeing here, the CRM marketing automation. What happens is if you have created tasks to call, or if you made a test to make sure you do something with that order, or you do something with that person. Say for instance, let's use our example with a call again. When a person comes in from that campaign, it will shoot out an email to them if you have that program first, and then it'll also send an email to the person internally. Hey, you got a new lead. Make sure you call this person either now or whenever you programmed it to do that. One of the good things about this list here, if we manage, of course you can manage your list. You can have several different lists, many different lists. Of course you're going to have at least the buyer list and the seller list. And what you could do also is when you launch a campaign, let's say you launched a campaign to your seller list and you want to track who you should be calling, this system has the ability to create a list automatically. So if we assigned a workflow and a task past that said, hey, when someone comes in from this, I'm going to send an email out to this buyer list or make a campaign for this buyer list. I'm going to send an email out. When they click on this link, add them to the call list because they are interested in this information. So when they click on it, it will go to a call list, and then you know exactly who you can call. We have an example here. This list gets created automatically based on the campaign and how you are managing that. And we can drill down later on via a one-on-one demo and show you how that's done. So again, you can manage all your lists. You can have at least 2 lists here, the buyer list and the seller list. Again, everything from your IDX is going to come in here. It's going to say IDX buyer list or whatever we name it according to however we collaborate. And then same thing for your seller list. It'll say something probably like HPC seller list. And those are all the leads from your PPC campaign and or direct traffic that have come in from the Home Profit Calculator campaign. So that's the automation portion of that. Now, again, if you had to answer the question, who I should be calling, that's going to be the main question that says, okay, I want to make sure I call this person because their lead score is higher. Now let me show you an example of lead score. So this is how we track the lead, or it's how we set the parameters of lead score. But let me actually show you a lead score. So let's say I have a particular client or prospect who is not maybe part of our client base yet. What I can do is track everything that they do. So I can look at this particular person here, to give an example, Michael, and I can go to the life of the lead, and I can track all the information and all the emails and all the direct links that he has clicked on and which browser and everything else, okay? And I can track him as long as he is in the system, he or she is in the system. And I can even track the devices that they're using. So I can see here that he used a computer and he also used a mobile device, and we're tracking that. And I even have this, let's take a look at this. I love this auto notify. So anytime this person comes back to our site, and he doesn't have to click a certain link, it's just that the system knows that he's in our system, and we recognize this person based on their device. So if I'm tracking 2 devices, each one of these creates what we call a digital footprint per device. So what I mean by digital footprint is that you have a certain version of Windows, you have a certain version of Chrome, you have a certain version of red screen resolution, you have a certain version of other information that's in your computer, and what it does is it creates a tracking ID for that computer and that computer only. And there is the digital footprint. Your computer, your node is not like any other node that's in the world, any other computer that's in the world. That's how we know he came back to the site. And once we do that, we can say, hey, all right, this person came back to the site, and what will happen is I will get a text, okay, because I have this auto notify on. I'll get a text that this person came back to the site. And not only that, I can also go here when he came back to the site, and based on the email, I can find out where he went. So I can find out which pages he visited. He visited a service page here. He came in through direct traffic, and he stayed 34 seconds there reading that information, looked at our services page, looked at our CMO page. Okay, and that's information, that's intelligent information that I can utilize to find out what he's looking at, and then make sure I talk to him about it. So I can send an email, say, hey, I noticed you were at this page looking around. Do you have any questions? Or I can send an email to him and say, hey, you know what? You were looking at such and such pages. Do you have any questions? Either way, you know exactly who to call. And I can also tell which campaigns in which he's a member. You can tell here he's in the promo that we launched on in July. He's on the call list. He's on another list for the Granison hair deal. I mean, there's a lot of information. There's no pending emails, no opportunities there that I put in here. There's an opportunity, but there's no opportunities that I put in there. But there's just a plethora of information I can utilize to make an intelligent decision on whether or not I should call this person. Now, the lead score, which I was getting into, is factored by all the clicks and information that he has filled out. So when he came to the site and he filled out certain information, he got a certain number of points. And I'll show you again how we set that. And it calculates as he or she is clicking around on the site, they're racking up points, and they're telling me that this is a hot person, a hot lead to call. And based on that information, I know exactly what to talk to them about, and I know exactly who to call. So every day, and how we use it internally, and me and my team, if I go to my contact list and I look at this, I do a sort, and I sort by lead score. As you can see here, it's going to put the higher lead score at the top. this gentleman here, this gentleman here, and so forth and so forth. And I know exactly who to call. Now, you may see some of these images here. One thing about the system, it searches Facebook, it searches LinkedIn, searches Twitter, and it'll gather that information with your email address, and then it'll put the picture there based on all the information that we talked about earlier from your computer node and everything else. So it does a lot of stealthy stuff that we like to say internally. So let me talk about the lead score a little bit more. Here's how we assign a lead score. We say, okay, for the completeness of a form and whatever rule we set, we're going to give you 1 point for first name, last name, company name, title, street, so forth and so forth. Now, when you start clicking around based on your engagement, right? How you visit, what you click on, I'm going to add points for each page visit. I'm going to add 25 points if you go to this particular landing page. I'm going to add 15 points if you fill out this form, 25 points for the email click, and so forth. And that gives you the lead score. That makes the lead score rack up. And you can, and we will help you set this up per buyer and per seller campaign, right? So because they all both have two different needs, we want to make sure that you know exactly who to call on the buyer side and who to call on the seller side. So from there, we have this lead score decay. Now, this is intelligent because a lead, as you know, as the more the lead stays in your system, the colder that lead gets, especially if they're not doing anything. So one, you know, you want to keep them engaged. Two, you can look at their lead score and say, okay, their lead score is decaying. Why is it decaying? They're not clicking around enough. Are they still interested? Maybe you should still make a call to them and say, hey, do you have any questions based on information you're looking at in the past? So you can use that lead score decay to even set the week or set the rules. Now we look at weeks here. We have it so in our system that every 2 weeks it decays. And so therefore we stay on top of the leads very, very actively. You can set that all the way out to an entire year. All right, so that's that portion of the automation. Again, everything else from our system here, once they come in from a website via form, everything else here is done automatically. Now I showed you how we can tie in the new lead nurture campaigns for buyers and sellers. What we will do with that in this system again is put it in the emails section and make sure that it is assigned to that particular form. So when someone comes in, it automatically drips on them. We have several different email campaigns or drip campaigns for the buyer and for the seller, and it's all about plugging it in. So import tool, if you have a system already, meaning that you have a constant contact or you have a wise agent or you have a top producer, we can export that information and import it in here, and they won't have to opt in or double opt in. We'll make sure that everything is set up right. If we can print it out via CSV format, we can import it, and most systems have that as a standard feature, so that's no deal there. Now, the pipeline opportunities we want to count, and now in this demo system we're not using it, but pipeline, you'll see that you can institute information based on the opportunity and how much it's worth and the leads and everything else. You can actually track opportunities won, then it calculates different reports for those opportunity ones. You can filter by sales rep, you can filter by you can sort by the opportunity, you can sort by the total value of the opportunity, the probability, and when it was created, so you can find out how long this person has been on your list or the opportunity has been there on the table. Maybe you should do something, either delete it and or make sure you call the person. From there, different accounts. If you deal with business to business, it's good to have account tied to certain people within the campaign, and that's another thing you can do. And then of course the reports, if you want to generate any report, you can generate a report based on opportunities won, opportunities lost, pipeline, and everything else as we saw. Visitor ID. You will get visitors to your website, and some of those visitors will be anonymous and some of those visitors will be people that are on your list. Well, how can you tell? If you look here on the right side, everyone that has a green section, when I click on it, it becomes blue. Everyone that has the green here are already in the database, right? And we can start monitoring them. And we can still look here to see the client information. You can see I can view lead details from here. I can tell how many pages this person visited. He visited 5 pages in his one visit. And here are the pages in which he visited. And here's his IP address. Now, for other systems like, say, medical staffing network here, if we click on that, we'll see that it will give me more other information. Now, someone within this corporation looked at our website, and here's their website right here. I can take a look at that and click on that to go to the site. I can tell where they are. I can tell how many, and then all this information on the web that the system automatically uh, puts into the system by itself. So 1,000 to 5,000 employees, and here's the value of their company somewhere in there. Someone within the corporation visited the site, and we can tell that they went to the home page, and they probably bounced, which is fine. Maybe there's something that they weren't looking for. They actually looked at the home profit calculator. Now, in that instance, so one of the questions that real estate agents want to ask is, how do I find out if a person came to the site, or if a person came to the site that I don't know, how do I get them onto the system? Well, it does have their IP address. It does not go out and collect their email address because we just can't do that yet. We don't know who that person is, but we can continue to track their IP address. So if you do click this and convert it into a lead, it will start tracking that person until they fill out a form, though. Then they'll be in your database with their name and email address at the very least. And because we use direct response marketing techniques, you have to give at the bare minimum your real email address in order to get the free offer that we're offering for the marketing campaign. So that's one way we can do that, can massage that. And there's different tricks and other things that we can do to make sure that we get them to the site so we can collect information. Going over to the right here, we have this big green new button. So anytime you want to add a new contact, you want to manage a new campaign, want to make a new form, want to manage a new site, want to add a new task, whatever it may be, we made it very, very easy so you can just click on the new and add a new whatever. So if I wanted to add a new contact, what it's going to ask me for is first name, last name, email address, phone number, mobile number if there is one, and then boom, add contact, and you are done there. So very easy. And then from there, of course, I can log into my settings or even log out. And whatever page you're on, if you need help understanding what's on the page, this little question mark here will add what we call the springboard help, and it will tell you different videos or give you information on different videos to watch based on this screen. So if I'm in the contact manager screen, if I click on contact manager and I look at the springboard, different set of videos there. Okay, so whatever page you're on for task, and this again is a very nice help feature. Springboard talks about information on this particular page, adding task and whatever automation and everything else. So this is the system, this is the back end of the system that manages your entire campaign. So if you look at the campaign again, we have the generate, capture, store, nurture. And again, our system can integrate with any other website that you have out there, but of course it will integrate information. We have an API that can connect to any website and even some of the other sites like Zillow, Trulia, and still put those leads into your buyer list here, and therefore you can nurture those leads. If you have the right IDX, and we also have the IDX in our system that can be built into our system as an option if you want. If you don't have your own IDX, when I do a home search, it will go into your buyer list and then put them on the drip campaign for that new lead. So this is our system. Again, I'm Granison Shines. If you have any questions, please give me a call at 602-369-8119, or you can email me at granison@directbusinessmarketing.com. Thank you.